Proudly present the major semi-final of the 1983 Winfield Cup, Manly-Warringah, the Sea Eagles versus the Parramatta Eels. The action called by Darrell, Eastlake, Ian Maurice, Arthur Summons and the immortal Australia's coach, Big Artie Beetson.
Major semi-final of the Winfield Cup.
Fresh from a football-free weekend, the Sea Eagles are bursting with confidence, determined the Parramatta Hoodoo will be exorcised today.
And just as determined, the defending premiers. They haven't been playing well, lost their last two premiership games and just hung on to beat Canterbury last weekend. But against Manly, Parramatta manages to pull out all the stops.
Manly's at full strength. Jeff Gerard is back in the front row with Paul McCabe. The back line is also at full strength. And watch for the individual brilliance of half Phil Blake and fullback Graham Eadie. Alan Thompson has the responsibility of skippering the side.
Parramatta have made only one change to last week's winning side. Chris Phelan is in the second row replacing Stan Jerd. The backs remain unchanged. Experience and speed to burn with the finals king, Stephen Edge, as skipper.
Depth for both coaches. Jack Gibson has John Muggleton and Ron Hilditch on the bench, while Bobby Fulton has Michael Blake and Rick Chisholm. Referee for the vital major semi, which sees the winner straight through to the grand final, Mr. Kevin Roberts. Ian Schubert kicking off for Manly, and here we go with the clash of the heavyweights. Taken by Mears. He's taken quickly with Gerard in there with Noel Cleal. And plenty going on early. Phelan. Ray Price, dummy half. Runs from there, gets a nice ball up to Bugden. Price, a lot of strapping on that lee again, and there's Cronin. Borton in hard with McCabe. Penalty to Parramatta. The head-to-head of this season is Parramatta have won the two clashes against Manly. Scores of 24-6 and 26-6. Cronin kicking for touch for Parramatta after that penalty awarded. Bugden just taking the settler. Sterling turns it back inside with this defence from Manly coming up hard. McCabe, a noted tackler, starting this game with a lot of vigour. Phelan getting up pretty slow after that too. This is Price. Well, Arthur Beetson, the Australian coach, with us again in the commentary box today. The battle of the heavyweights, how do you see it?
Well, I see Parramatta winning this match, contrary to what a lot of people think. I think Parramatta can win it through the forwards. There's too many unknown factors about the defence of the Manly forwards.
This Manly defence very vigorous early.
Well, they certainly are tackling well at this stage, but they are concentrating their attack up the middle, Parramatta. So I think Jack Gibson it's pretty simple stuff at this stage, but I do think they'll wear away at Manly in the forwards.
Jack Gibson sitting high up in the stands, having a good view down on the game, looking at the pattern of play. And look at the pack weights. Manly at 560 kilograms, Parramatta 548. Manly ball. Thompson looking for runners. Gets Eadie up in the back line. Blake, Borton hard. And some good news from Brisbane today, Arthur.
The good news is that Mighty Moreton Bay Rams won their grand final.
And I believe that's a first.
That certainly is a first. I'll have to get back early and nail the furniture down tonight.
The problem is they've done it without you.
Oh, they certainly have. They might send me down next year.
Blake kicking, taken beautifully, like a slips catch. This is Lydiard. Plenty of pace on Lydiard. Oh, and pretty hard and heavy swing from Blake. He's getting called out for that one. Kevin Roberts having plenty to say. And you can see the swinging arm there from referee. Bobby Fulton again high in the stands, looking down on the play, and a little concern at the moment. Parramatta putting on the power with Cronin. Loose ball. Ray Price has no other alternative but to fall on it. Edge of dummy half. This is Mears. Sterling kicks. Johnny Rebo takes it for Manly. They take Rebo inside the 22.
Manly using unsettling tactics against Parramatta early. A lot of niggling stuff going on in tackles. But this is the first time really we've seen Parramatta defending in this match. And what defence we're seeing. Here's Ray Brown and Vorton offloading to Sigsworth. That kick ahead by Sigsworth has found touch. Just outside the Parramatta quarter. There it was. Osted chasing it. Penalty's gone to Manly. Gerard plays it. Brown can't get to it. Vorton has it. Mears and Bugden and Ed dueling there. Now here's Ray Brown. Cleal. Back to Blake. Gerard. Schubert. Thompson keeping it alive well. Back with Blake. Brown's pass almost intercepted by Kenny, but Sigsworth knocked it on. Well, how many times have we seen Kenny coming through for an intercept? That was a long pass from Ray Brown. Very nearly an intercept. Just the one clean scrum so far. One against the head. Blake. 10 metres out now, Manly putting pressure on Schubert. 6 metres out. Manly raid. Blake. Blake's so close to the line. Oh, they're close. Referee Roberts looking right into it. Penalty has gone to Manly. Graham Eadie with a very easy 2 points staring him in the face. No mistake from Graham Eadie, and Manly draw first blood. 2-0 here at the cricket ground. Drawn first blood. Before it was Parramatta racing away to early leads.
Well, that's right. Manly are certainly playing well at this stage. They're putting quite a lot of pressure on Parramatta. They're unloading the ball. And they are directing a lot of traffic at Brett Kenny and Steve Ella. You just see now Crusher Cleal. That might be Bozo's game plan.
Here's Sigsworth. They're short of the quarter line. Manly just on their quarter line as Thompson has it. Cleal. Blake. There's plenty in that kick, far too much, almost out into the crowd. Well, we've talked about Phil Blake's kicking game, but certainly he wouldn't be very happy with that one. Way out on the full. And a scrum will be put down where he kicked the ball.
Scrum win to Parramatta. This is Cronin. Unloads again to Ray Price. Ray Price just inside Manly's 22. Sterling. The runners come through now. This is Phelan. Unloads quickly to Sharp. Sharp. If he can get the ball away to Sterling, he juggles at Sterling. Oh, and put down with a good tackle. It was Eadie. Under dummy half. Running from there. Gets the ball away, though. This is Kenny. Ray Price Price deep inside the 22, Parramatta. Sharp gets a good ball back to Mears on the boil. Mears, he's going to be close. Oh, he's only half a centimetre out. Big and strong, this Mears. Back to edge. Parramatta, the little chip kick. A race back, but no, he doesn't have to go near it. Jack Gibson. High in the stand. Chance here, this little clever kick from Sterling. Boasted just looking for the chase. Well, Arthur Summons is on the sidelines again, the former international. Arthur, how do you see it?
Well, both coaches expressed extreme confidence, of course. Bobby Fulton was a little concerned that the swirling wind conditions may affect his game plan. We saw one of the boys kick just recently, and of course went out on the fall.
They made an awful mess of it out there, but referee Roberts saying it was knocked backwards as Sigsworth plays it. 10 metres out from the Manly line, Bowstead. And Brown. Close. Cleal. Cleal up towards the halfway mark. Still going. That's a fine run from Noel Cleal. Now, can they capitalise on that break? Here's Brown standing out wide, finding Edie. Edie got support too from Sigsworth to the corner line. The kick through from Blake. I think he's onside. He's got the ball and will score a magnificent try. What a superb effort from the entire Manly side. You can travel the world of rugby league. I doubt whether you'll see as good a try as this. From the break from Cleal, it came right across the black back line, and Brown's pass to Edie was superb. The pass back inside for Sigsworth, and look at that kick ahead. Blake certainly onside. The bounce once, and Blake is in to score a great try. He's 27th for the year.
Certainly a great try. There's a great pass here from Ray Brown, cutting out a player and picking up Wombat. Wombat picked up Sigsworth back inside. A short chip over the top, and it was good work by Phil Blake. He beat Eric Gray to the ball, but that try, to me, goes down to Ray Brown and Graham Eadie.
Well, his 27th try of the year. He just doesn't know how not to score tries, this fella. Shouldn't have any trouble at all with this one, Graham Eadie. Doesn't matter how easy it is, he still concentrates hard. He didn't hit it particularly well, but he's got the 2 points. So Manly 8 lead Parramatta 0. The Beetson, two very exciting football teams out there, and that was a great try.
As you said previous, Noel Cleal, he's breaking here again. He really loosened the defence up before.
Oh, wasn't he causing some damage? Cleal up towards the quarter line now, Manly, and swinging it right across the back line. They're lined out very deep. Here's Sigsworth, and there's Phil Blake. Back with Schubert. Up to the quarter line. Oh, they're playing great football, Manly. Lined out very deep too. If they swing it to the right, they've got a big overlap. It's with Thompson. Now it's with McCabe. Now Bowstead. Horton. Oh, keeping it alive magnificently. There's Rebo. What's he doing in there? Sigsworth. And away it goes to Blake. Oh, this is champagne football from Manly. 10 metres out from the Parramatta line. Gerard now. Back with Sigsworth. Brown is dummy half. Another long pass this time. Out there for Close. McCabe and Thompson. Last tackle for Manly. Pressure here for David Lydiard. Up he goes. He hasn't taken it cleanly. And referee Roberts has ruled a Parramatta player offside. Penalty to Manly. Well, watch it for yourself. It was a great kick. Lydiard has gone up for it now. Doesn't take it cleanly. It's gone on to Price, who was in front of him. And then Lydiard in front of Price. Now Graham Eadie, again with an easy kick, although he made hard work of his last one. Cronin restarting players he's done fairly often, and there's a mistake from McCabe. And Sterling feeding this one for Parramatta. This time it's gone with the feed. Now he's Cronin. Bottled up by Close. Ella. Nowhere to go. Jeff Gerard up there to make the tackle with Thompson. Now Sterling. Phelan. Making a pretty solid tackle. Ray Brown and Paul McCabe. Penalty's gone to Parramatta.
Cronin trying to put some points on the board for the Eels. Moves into it now. Certainly got the height and the distance. Waved away though. So a miss, and Edie comes out with it. Gets it on to Boasted. Boasted caught by Mears. Les Boyd on the sideline again for Manly. They'll clear with the ball. That's the 22 line you can see. Ray Brown on to Schubert. Schubert with a nice pass up at Chris Close. Close taken by Cronin. Ella comes back and gets him. Running from dummy half is McCabe onto Thompson. Long pass out for Fortin. Puts a loose one up, taken by Boasted though. Mears doing a power of tackling for Parramatta at the moment. 11 tackles so far in this match. Paul Mears. Ray Brown. The kick. David Lydiard underneath it. He's made a mess of this one. That's two he's put down now. Manly have possession through Jeff Gerard. This is Blake. Blake with a short pass up for Ray Brown. This is Sidsworth. And Manly back inside Parramatta's 22 again. Ray Brown turns it back for Gerard. Then on to McCabe. McCabe taken beautifully though by Ray Price. Rebo from dummy half. Kenny underneath and Ella over the top. Blake run around. Watch for the long pass. There it is for Close. Nowhere to go though. Alan Thompson at dummy half. Takes a shot for a field goal, and he gets it. Alan Thompson kicking a field goal for Manly. His second field goal for the year. Alan Thompson, cool as you like. Cronin having plenty of practice of kicking off at the moment. 11-0 the score. Electing to use that short kick, going after two. Price has come up with it, and they've done that more than once this season. Phelan. Edge looking for the runners. Sharp will play it right on the 22. Sharp hurt there, took a knock on the head. Sterling. This is Mears. Oh, and a big confrontation between Mears and McCabe. Penalty goes to Parramatta, not letting Mears get up and play it cleanly. See it again, here's Mears, bang, there's the hit. Sigsworth laying all over the top of him. You can see McCabe sort of trying to clear himself out of the tangle. Big Cronin right on the 22 and dead set in front. There it is in the air and 2 points. So Parramatta on the board. Scoreline now, Manly 11, Parramatta 2.
Manly 11, Parramatta 2.
Ian Schubert, first restart since the original kickoff in the game for Manly. Driving it deep. Lydiard. So far in attack, Manly have made 45 metres and 6 tackles. Parramatta only 25. Price, Growth. Bumping run from Growth. Well, Arthur Beetson, it's pretty windy down there and the wind swirls on this ground. You think it's wise tactics that Manly are employing at the moment, keeping it in the air?
Well, that's it. They're certainly putting pressure on David Lydiard, and he's coughed the ball up twice. So there's no reason why they shouldn't continue with those tactics. But Parramatta at the moment, they don't seem to be organised at all.
Your opinion of this Mears? He's just put a ball down there, but he's had a fine season.
Well, he's certainly a great prospect. If he has got a fault, I think that he runs too upright. If he has a little more body lean, it'll improve his game.
Paul McCabe showing the strain of coming back after injury. Very big tackler. Kevin Roberts getting really involved with these scrums. Thompson feeding for Manly, not Blake. This is Lydiard. Puts a ball away to Ella. Ella snapped down with a good tackle from Schubert. Sterling. There's Mears. Jeff Gerard and Fortin. Edge. Price. Cronin. This is Kenny. Oh, taken ball and all by Sigsworth. It's a good stop. Lydiard up at dummy half, gets it to Sterling. Puts it in the air now. Well-placed kick. Well, fine touch too. That's a great kick from Sterling. Had a look, no one at home. Sterling had a little look, no one at home. And got a lovely bounce of the ball. And finding touch.
Parramatta using Chris Phelan in the front row with Mears packing in the second row. This is Thompson. Six tackles nullified. Referee Roberts waving his arm to indicate that as McCabe was caught. And in the background there's an altercation. Ray Price involved and Alan Thompson. The stick with play as Jeff Gerard is about to play. Gerard, in fact, has played for both clubs. He's played his 201st first-grade game in a career with Manly and Parramatta. This is Brown, McCabe. Arthur Beetson in a situation like this when Parramatta was down 11-0, it must be very easy to panic.
Well, it is. At the moment, I'm a bit surprised that Parramatta haven't used their kicking game a little bit more. They seem to be playing the game down in their own territory.
Here's Kenny. How often have we seen him make a break like this? He's got Growth with him. Oh, and a dummy to Growth, but coming across was Graham Eadie, who just took Brett Kenny out of the play. Watch it. Eadie coming across and right around the neck or around the shoulder area to put Kenny over the touchline.
Ken Arthurson, the boss of the ARL, of course, and Bobby Fulton, coach of Manly. Ella with a run round. Ella back with the ball. Through Blake. Ella. Just almost to the 22. Ray Price, dummy half. Out to Cronin, on to Sterling. There's Lydiard up in the back line. Here's Kenny. Kenny explodes. They won't stop Kenny. He's there. Great try from Parramatta and a brilliant try from Kenny. Well, just put it down to individual brilliance. He stepped through the defence over. See it again. It's a beauty. Here's Cronin. Quick hands to Sterling. Sterling to Lydiard up to make the extra man. There's the speed of Kenny. There's the step and the next step and again through the defence. Wrong-footed Eadie and over for the try with Blake on his back.
It's certainly a good pass by Lydiard here. They moved it wide. Brett Kenny came on the ball there. Sigsworth should have taken him, but he stepped about 4 times before Graham Eadie got to. What chance did Graham Eadie have?
His 19th try for the season, Arthur.
19th try. He's certainly a great footballer, Brett Kenny.
There's the position of the kick, the 22 line you can see. Moves into it now, gets the height and distance off the bar though, bouncing straight off the uprights. So score remains Manly 11, Parramatta 6. There's the kick. Watch it. Bang, straight off the upright. Ian Schubert getting ready. Arthur, I've noticed when Manly kick off, they kick the ball very deep, where Parramatta kick it shallow.
Well, this is it. Parramatta proved that they can recover possession with those short kickers, but Bozo's idea is to contain them down inside the 22.
Very Growth will play it on the Parramatta 22. Ray Price, and there's another big hit from McCabe. On an elbow in there from Price too. This McCabe, he's tough. A man that you've had a bit to do with.
And he's certainly a great footballer. There's one thing he can do is he can defend, and along with Paul Vorton, they're both great defensive players.
13 tackles each, McCabe and Vorton in this match. Here's Mears. Oh, another swinging arm too as Mears goes down. Phelan, dummy half. Tackler again, Paul Vorton. He's a workhorse, this fella. Mick Cronin, a dummy half. And to Sterling. Sterling shapes to kick, throws a loose one back. Picked up by Bugden. Taken by Vorton, on to Price. Price with a little chip over the top. Is the bounce favourable? Ella gets it out. Kenny gets it back inside the Lydiard, but he was hit and blew it. Oh, and Jack into another cigarette. Well, have a look at this, Arthur. Give us your comments on this.
Well, that's happened twice here, that Brett Kenny, had he looked inside, they would have scored. There was about 3 or 4 blokes backing up inside.
Thompson to feed. Manly ball. Penalty Manly. Feed across the verdict.
I don't think Lydiard would have been too pleased with the pass from Brett Kenny. He had about half a centimetre to work in. Well, both teams, of course, utilising the kick, but Manly under instructions, I would imagine, Fulton knowing the swirling winds here at the cricket ground. Manly have kicked 10 times to Parramatta's 5 in this first half so far. Now, keeping the ball alive well. Here's Edie. Close. Now Gerard. Thompson, Schubert, Sigsworth. A gap. It closed very quickly. Now Blake, Thompson, McCabe, close. Edie at least on to close now. Still going strongly. Beautiful tackle from young Lydiard. Goodness me, Close is a huge man. He's tackling very well. And they're still keeping the ball alive. Here's Cleo. Back to Blake, the ball loose, picked up by Sterling. Now Parramatta certainly were in trouble, settling things down now, just on their quarter line. Arthur, do you think this swirling wind that we've talked about so often today is going to play a big part in this game?
I'm a little bit surprised. I think if there is any advantage, it is to Parramatta at the moment, and I'm surprised they're not using the kick a little bit more.
Here's Price, 32 metres out from his own line, caught by Vorton. Now Mears. Sandwiched in a tackle again by Vorton, and Sigsworth in there with him. Manly player down. Here's Sterling. The kick through for Lydiard. He's chasing it. It's bounced up for Hunt. But Hunt couldn't handle it. Now Bosted trying to pick up the dregs. Held by Lydiard. There's Alan Thompson, who was down for Manly. He's up now, though. It's Manly back on the halfway mark. Just a minute to half-time. Here's McCabe. Right in the cricket pitch area. Brown into Gerard. Brown again for Schubert. Parramatta not putting the players to the ground, Arthur.
This is it. This is the thing that they failed to do previously.
Well, bad mistake there from Manly, and Parramatta have come up with it, but whether they'll have time to do anything with it before the half-time siren sounds is another thing. Sterling and Kenny. It's got Lydiard inside. The dummy. McCabe didn't take it. There's the half-time siren now. Sharp putting it up and under in the air. It'll go out on the full. And referee Kevin Roberts blows half-time with the score. The scrums have favoured Manly. But at 11-6, Manly looking good, and Parramatta coming back, and we'll be back.
The missed tackles. Parramatta, a mammoth 16, Manly only 5. In defence now, Paul Vaughton, another outstanding performance with 18 tackles. He leads the tackle count for Manly. Parramatta led by Paul Mayers at 17. Now in attack, this is an average of six tackles. Manly have averaged 48 metres, Parramatta 42. There's the restart of play for the second half. Gerard playing it back, and there's Vaughton. Parramatta defence comes in, but Vaughton unloads to Gerard, and that looked a bit suspect to me. The referees let it go. Manly with the football now. Thompson swivelling. Unloads to Noel Cleal, caused plenty of headaches in the first half. On to Chris Close. Well, Arthur Beetson, if you were coaching sides today, Manly or Parramatta, what would your tactics be?
Well, it's quite obvious that Bobby Fulton will take advantage of the breeze that he's got behind his back, and I'm sure that he'll utilise a strong kicking game. But I'm sure Jack Gibson would have been a little bit disturbed at Parramatta's failure to put the man on the deck. Noel Cleal especially has caused them quite a lot of strife.
Comments from the Australian coach Arthur Beetson as Blake puts it in the air. Lydiard back for it. Oh, he's made a mess of it, Lydiard. Well, he's not having one of his happiest days. He's had a sensational season, but look at this. Had it covered well and truly and straight out of the arms. Cronin takes a drop, goes to Schubert. Mayers in there with Phelan to help. Sharp also. McCabe. Strong McCabe finally goes down. Brown. That was Gerard. Oh, and some heavy stuff going on with Noel Cleal on the boil. Ray Brown, Manly close. Long pass out for Rebo. Dropped it back behind him though. Brown. Thompson. Schubert. Too much defence for Schubert. Blake with a chip kick. Blake held back. Oh, and Lydiard, we'll see what happens here. Yes, penalty Manly. Definitely held back Blake. Put the chip kick through, and Parramatta's defence held him. David Lydiard not happy about it, but it happened. There it is, Blake with that little chip. Just dropped it on the boot. The bounce would have favoured him too, but he was held back by Sharp. Lydiard ended up with the football. But Manly get the penalty. Six goals, and Les Boyd coming out on the field. We'll wait for the kick. There's Les. Graham Eady. First points of the second half go to Manly. They've started as they did in the first half. Scoreline now, Manly 13, Parramatta 6. Well, Arthur Summons is on the sideline. He's been to talk to both coaches. Arthur, their comments?
Yeah, Jack Gibson wants more effective hits in defence from Parramatta and less panic. Bobby Fulton's going to continue with the kicking game and move up quickly in defence. They were a bit slack towards the end of the first half.
Arthur Summons will be back right throughout the game with comments. He's keeping a tab on the coaches. And Arthur Beetson's comments fairly pertinent when you hear the comments from both of those coaches. Gerard now playing the ball. Back to Cleal on to Vaughton. Vaughton with a bustling run. Still going, Vaughton. Edge and Mayers wrestle him down. Brown on to Blake. Out to Thompson. This is Eady. Thompson dummy half to Blake. Kicks again, Blake. Stabs for the line. He'll find it too. Good kick from Blake. Well, he's certainly coming back to his critics today, Arthur Beetson.
He's certainly playing well at the moment. He was a little bit unlucky not to score a try. that ball didn't hit the post, it would have been another Manly try.
The scrum will pack midway between the half and the quarter. Parramatta's into the ground. It's collapsed again. Cronin standing. Ella one. Cronin taken by Borton down low, though he's lost the ball. This is Edie. Edie winding up. Still going, Edie through Mears, but they come back and get him. The wall of blue and gold. Ray Brown looking for runners. McCabe swiveling, trying to unload. Brown, Gerard, Brown. Oh, out for Sigsworth, juggling it. It's taken by Ella. Brown turns it back to Schubert. And Schubert's inside the 22. Bosted come running through then, hoping to get a ball. Sterling is back to fullback. So Lydiard having trouble with the bombs, and Sterling has gone back to protect the line. Sigsworth with a flick pass onto Gerard. Oh, Manly playing good stuff, keeping it alive. That's McCabe. 10 metres out, Manly. Pressure for Parramatta. Blake. Referee, though, has seen a knock on. Ray Brown, the offender. The scrum will pack down 10 metres out. See it again. There it is. Only a little one, but enough to put down a scrum. Penalty to Parramatta this time. Loose arm.
Ray Brown, the offender, and Coach Bob Fulton wouldn't be too happy with that.
Well, if the referee wanted to be fair dinkum, I think he could pinch Ray Brown every time. He could go in there with one arm. He could pinch him every time because he just refused to pack the other arm around the prop shoulders.
Now here's Sterling giving it to Bugden. Just outside the Parramatta quarter. Sterling again. Now back with Phelan. Gerard and McCabe doing the work. Sterling again. Now Cronin. Caught by Cleal. 35 metres out from the Parramatta line. Hunt. And there's a swinging arm gone in there on Hunt. McCabe has been called out by referee Roberts. Well, the referee had no hesitation in blowing his whistle. Here it is. Watch Hunt. There's the swinging arm from McCabe around the chin. Another angle. And there's a bit of a clip on the chin, and Hunt receiving attention for that now. As a result of all that, Nick Cronin will take the kick for touch. Now the free kick from just inside Manly half. Sharp. It's the first settler. And here's Sterling. Edge. Bugden. Players peeling off, running in several directions. Another variation of that wall. Price. Caught by McCabe. Gerard, I think, is under there as well. Now Mears. Throwing the ball anywhere. Trouble for growth, but he's got it now. But they've lost a fair bit of ground because of that one loose pass. Now he's Phelan. Caught by McCabe again. Certainly not shirking any work. 17 tackles McCabe has made. And now another loose pass. This time Sterling's able to come up with it. But he's lost it. And Thompson comes up with it. So a lot of silly errors creeping into Parramatta's play, are there?
There certainly are. I'm a little bit surprised that Parramatta haven't spread the ball around a bit more and try and work those Manly forwards.
Now Manly certainly spinning the ball wide. It's close. Flat right on the edge of the cricket pitch. Here's Cleal. Schubert falling over before he got the ball. Now with Edie. Just short of the halfway mark. Now Blake again kicking, following his coach's instructions, and again he's found touch.
McCabe, Gerard. It's the year that Gerard left Parramatta to join Manly. They won the premiership. So I think he'd like to see the situation reversed this year. Penalty to Parramatta. Well, he's having a lot of trouble with these scrums, Arthur.
He certainly is. He pinched Ray Brown there, or the front row of Manly, for not going in, packing in, refusing to pack into the scrum.
It's the 6th scrum penalty of the match. As Cronin kicks the touch. The play will restart just outside the 22. Well, let's see if Parramatta can hold the football this time. Another variation of the wall. Price. Showing some flashy underwear. To Sterling. To Hunt. Hunt almost through, but Borton gets him. Too often he runs past Borton. Edge. Out to Kenny. On to Cronin, then Ella. Oh, and a big stop on Ella. Sigsworth took him ball and all. Kenny. This is Sharp. Unloads to Edge. This Manly defence is swarming. They're taking the man ball and all. Kenny a dummy half. This is Cronin. Sterling. Switch of play. Back to Grove. Grove under one. Grove. He'll score. Well, the powerhouse has gone in and he'll make a game of it. The Eels are not done yet. And looked easy. Here's the switch of play. Look, here's Cronin. Switched it the other way. Went to Sterling. Sterling drew the defence. A little flick pass back to Grove. Grove out of Vorton. I just said you don't get past him off, and Grove did. Out of Blake's tackle too, and in for the try. He's 10th for the season.
It was certainly a great try by Eric Grove, and a clever switch of play, as you said. But I'm a little bit surprised that Eric Grove hasn't got a little bit more involved.
We'll have a look at it as he will see it. There's the angle. In the air. It waved away. Scoreline now, Manly 13, Parramatta 10. Ian Schubert has the ball placed. 3 points the difference. Another deep kickoff from Manly. Taken well by Lydiard this time. On to Grove. Grove winding up. Defence comes to him. He's still inside the 22. Edge just taking the settler and taking play to the 22 line. Price. Switching it to Cronin, and then Sterling inside. Gets it away to Sharp. Sharp turns it back to Phelan. This is better stuff from Parramatta now. They're playing with a bit more purpose. And 3 tackles they've taken play midway between the half and the quarter. Cronin. Ball out for Ella. Had to take it on his fingertips. Ooh, and put down heavy. Edge. This is Mears. Sharp. On to Sterling. In the air. Taken well by Graham Eadie, though. Sterling using the ball in the air a bit more now. Here's Blake on to Schubert. Schubert taking the tackle. Oh, McCabe's mishandled it. Parramatta have it through Lydiard. The referee Roberts has pulled up for the knock-on.
Manly continuing to use Alan Thompson to feed the scrums. Penalty's gone to Manly. Feed across is the ruling against Parramatta. Thompson asking a few questions. You'd think he'd been penalised the way he's asking questions. free kick will be about 35 metres out from the Manly line. Manly clinging to this 3-point lead. Brown running right across field. Now giving it to Gerard. McCabe. Put down argue for Sharp, but he comes at him again with Mears. Philip Blake. Thompson. Edie's put it down. It's loose. Picked up by Jeff Bugden, but he's been ruled offside. Bugden. Well, it'll be interesting to look at that again. Referee Kevin Roberts ruling that it came off a Parramatta hand, and I don't know whether it did. Arthur Beetson.
I think he's made a mistake there, Kevin Roberts.
Look closely again.
I thought it touched Eric Grath, but it didn't.
Well, I think that is a mistake by Kevin Roberts.
They're very unlucky to drop that ball because Parramatta were very skinny out there. They had Jeff Buckley out there, and they could have went all the way had he held that pass.
Now, Alan Thompson going to get the close. Sigsworth can't get around Mears. Smothers him. Blake. Sterling there to hold him. Now here's Cleal. Cave did well to get to that. Now it's with Bowstead. 3 Parramatta defenders there to hold Bowie. 15 metres out. Ray Brown giving it to Gerard. Now they're 10 metres out. It's the last tackle. Pressure for Parramatta. Lydiard is back there. Is Sterling going to help him? I can't see Sterling. There's the bomb from Blake. Up they go for it. Sterling, in fact, was there and did well to take it. So Parramatta now getting it away from the danger zone as Ella and Growth combine. And Growth making a few more metres up towards the quarter line. Here's Sharp. Straight into the Manly defenders. Phelan. 32 metres out from the Parramatta line. Just over 20 minutes of play remaining in this semi-final. This is Edge. Last tackle now for Parramatta. Cronin shapes to kick. There's a gap for Cronin. He's over halfway to Lydiard. Lydiard's got Ella with him. Keeping it alive with a pass to Mears. Mears, in fact, got it away. It's still in Parramatta's possession. Scrambling play, but they picked it up. Sterling's pass out with Growth again. Growth discarded Edie, but he's coming in again. And that's a changeover of possession. First one of the match, and Parramatta were determined not to change over.
That was certainly brilliant stuff, especially on Mick Cronin there. He elected to sell the dummy, and they nearly went all the way.
Arthur, interesting to note that in the first half, Manly had only missed 5 tackles. It's now 18, so maybe you're right about getting tired.
Well, I think they are getting tired. They're starting to make a lot of yardage up the middle of the rucks, Parramatta.
Noel Cleal, the crowd today, 28,921. McCabe. Good tackle from Phelan then. Bugden into assist, and then Price. Thompson. Blake puts it in the air, so they're using the breeze a lot better than Parramatta did in the first half. And that'll find touch too. Lydiard caught out of position again. Blake having a brilliant kicking game today. There's the kick, and they've got the right bounce too. Could be Phelan coming off. We'll check. Jerd definitely warming up on the sideline. Sterling takes the ball from the base of the scrum. Muggleton also warming up for Parramatta. Will stay with the action for the moment. This is Kenny. Sharp. Cronin onto Lydiard. Lydiard throws a dummy. Still going, Lydiard. In the room to move. Oh, flicks the ball back inside, though. Straight to Sigsworth. It's losing possession on the third tackle, so both sides making errors at the moment. Edie. Play midway between the quarter and the halfway line. Ray Brown. Cabe. Well, there's lots of changes happening on the sideline. We've got 16, 17, 20 I can see on the sideline. We'll stay with us at the moment as Gerard takes play over the 22. Manly have lost possession 10 times, Parramatta 12. Noel Cleal, he'll score! Oh, he just was like an explosion, Cleal. Put the power on the ground and went over a great Manly try. Well, he's caused them plenty of headaches in the first half and another one in the second. Watch this, straight through the Parramatta defence. They all missed him. And that's a determined try from Noel Cleal. His 11th try for the season.
There's certainly some very poor defence by Parramatta there, but who'd like to try and stop Noel Cleal at that speed coming at you from about 10 metres out?
And he'd be like a runaway Mack truck. There they are. Look at Kenny. He's having plenty to say too. Sharply, shoulders down. He missed a tackle in. Graham Eady about 10 and a half out. Moves into it now. And puts the flags up too. Graham Eady's done it. Manly 19, Parramatta 10.
Well, these early missed tackles from Parramatta haven't done any favours for David Lydiard. He had no chance. He did well to even get around big Noel Cleal. It's a good tackle, but there's just no way of stopping him.
Well, Phelan and Bugden are off for Parramatta. Stan Jerd wearing 16 and John Muggleton in 17 are on. Now watch the ball chases for Parramatta. This is something they do a lot, Arthur. They line up on that kickoff.
They certainly do. They put a lot of pressure on Manly there, but they've countered that. They've put everyone up in the front line and they've got possession every time now.
Paul Borton will play it. Ray Brown. This is Thompson. Back inside to Eady. Stan Jerd making his first tackle of the match. That's Mears. In there to assist. Schubert. Gerard almost busted him again. Edge round the ankles. Brown, Blake, Thompson, Blake. The kick, the chip kick this time from Blake. Following it through was Bowstead. Ball loose. Lydiard onto it. He's lost it. And Manly have possession. The referee says no penalty to Parramatta. Trying to rake it out of their hands, and gee, that's a costly one because Manly were getting some momentum. So Parramatta have the football. Arthur Summons has the information on the sideline.
Bit surprised at Jack Gibson's tactics and putting on Bugden and Phelan as tacklers first. He should have tried to put points on the board and use Muggleton and Jerd first and then bring on the tacklers later. But they're behind now, and that's why they put on the ball players, and that's what these two fellas have gone out for.
14 minutes of this game remaining, and Manly leading by 19 points to 10. And that renowned Parramatta defence has been found sadly lacking today. Here's Rebo. Now Schubert. Sigsworth. Manly's played very, very well to keep this football alive, Arthur Beetson.
Well, certainly that's where Parramatta have fallen down. We just see Schubert unload a good ball. Here we see Cleal once again with a block-busting run.
Caused a lot of damage, Noel Cleal, hasn't he?
He's certainly done a lot of damage.
Look at that for a long pass from Phil Blake, emulating Wally Lewis. Now that after his man is still raiding away with Alan Thompson. Only 11 metres out from the Parramatta line. Manly hungry for more tries. Brown, Sigsworth, looking out there for close. He's gone without it. Picked up by Sterling. Now can he get out of the in-goal? He's passed it to Lydiard in the in-goal area. Oh, that is dangerous. And Lydiard, in fact, has gone touch in goal. Oh, Arthur Beetson, what would you do to a player that passed in the in-goal area like that?
Well, Jack Gibson wouldn't be very pleased out there. The Parramatta now are playing very much panic football.
Well, incident like that, you go cricket a schoolboy. Now, Stephen Sharp has come from the field. Gary Martini is on to replace Sharp. Schubert playing it just inside the Parramatta quarter. Blake, Bowstead. almost through. Brown, Gerard, caught by Martini. Now here comes Vorton. He's only 6 metres out from the Parramatta line. Blake, Schubert gone without it. Blake finally picking it up, but referee Roberts will play the knock on. Well, this is an uncharacteristic display from Parramatta, Arthur, I must say.
It certainly is. That try by Cleal seems to have spurred Manly on.
You hit the nail on the head earlier when you said they're panicking, and I've never known a Parramatta side in the last couple of years anyway to panic in situations like this. Here's a penalty to Parramatta though, against that Manly front row not packing straight. Stephen Sharp, who's been replaced, with a wistful look. Now Neil Hunt with the free kick, putting it down in fact for Sterling. There's a wall gone up. Who has it? Sterling has it. It didn't get to the wall. Now here's Jerd. Kenny, Cronin, cutting out Ella with a pass to Lydiard. Now Growth. Martini. 11 metres short of the halfway mark, playing it forward. McCabe will be offside. He is. McCabe must stand directly in front of the player playing the ball. And in fact, he was, as you watch, you'll see that he was standing to the side and tried to make a tackle. That's the third straight penalty to Parramatta.
Ten minutes remaining to full time. Arthur Beetson, there's one ruling of the game we've been critical of this year. That's the 5-yard in attack. And referee Kevin Roberts has virtually ignored that today.
Well, he certainly has, but it's been a tremendous game today, and I don't think anyone can criticise the referee on his performance today.
Here's Lydiard, the ball from Kenny. Well, I wasn't saying I was criticising it, but we have criticised it all year. He's been pretty liberal with it today. Cronin. To the way to Martini. Parramatta now down to Manly's 22. Kenny and Sterling. Jerd gets it away to Martini. He wasn't expecting it. And they're back where they started from. Edge, Sterling, out to Cronin. Cronin standing, but they've been right on to Mick Cronin today. Hasn't had the chance to unload as well as we've seen him right throughout the season. Mears runs from dummy half. Belts out on one. He's strong, this young fella. He's got another strong man in Paul Vorton. Ray Price to Sterling, to Cronin, to Martini. Pass out for Jerd. Jerd back inside out of two, but they belt him down. Oh, and Kenny, look at him throwing the arms down. Kenny, he's done the biscuit too. Wanted the football because Manly have it. Edie. Ray Brown. Jeff Gerard. Brown switches direction to Cleal. Cleal trying to dive off that foot. It's the deck. Thompson, Sigsworth. Manly are getting through this first and second tackle, Arthur, with a lot of ease.
Well, they'll certainly do it. They've, well, actually, the Manly pack have seemed to have found a new lease of life, and I'm quite certain that Bobby Fulton will be pleased with the lead at the moment. There's only about 8 minutes to go, so they're going to be hard to take back.
Lydiard retrieving that ball from a Blake kick right back in his own in-goal area. Runs it back. Not a bad run. Takes play about 4 minutes short of the 22. Hunt. Run around with Growth. Still going, Hunt. Looking to unload out of 3 tackles, Hunt. but they're sort of running nowhere. They're on the spot. Here's Grove. He straightens it up. Muggleton, dummy half to Martini. Mears unloading to Sterling. Martini inside, couldn't take the pass. It was a horror. Stretch forward to take it. And Ray Brown will come up with possession with Manly. Blake. Sigsworth. Manly very, very bunched at the moment. Very bunched. There they are. Rebo. No pattern in Manly's attack at all. They're very, very bunched. Just content to run it around, keep it tight into the rucks. Ray Brown. McKay will play it. Bowstead back to Blake for the kick. And that one just bounces inside. Well, Ella was right underneath it. It went straight through his hands and bounced into touch. And it wasn't a good kick from Blake that time. See it again. Up it goes. Now watch Ella. Ella right underneath it. All the time in the world to take it. Let it bounce and it goes into touch.
Now Sterling to work this scrum, and before Sterling can do it, referee Roberts has given Parramatta the penalty. Again, Ray Brown, the culprit, going down in the scrum with a loose arm. The 6th scrum penalty for Parramatta. And it's looking very much like Parramatta will be in action next Sunday against Canterbury. And of course you'll be able to see that right here on 9 at 6 o'clock next Sunday, full 90-minute replay. Here's Sterling and Hunt. Out of 2. Finally into Manly's half. Now Sterling and Muggleton. I suppose the Parramatta fans would be too happy about their side playing Canterbury, because Canterbury have an excellent record against the Eels in premiership matches anyway. Here's Cronin. Michael Blake making his way to the sideline. And here's Ray Price, one fellow who will never give in. Sterling has it. Now Lydiard. And Michael Blake ready to go on. Ryan also with him on the sideline. Sterling with the bomb. Not too many chases though, and Edie doesn't have a great deal of trouble in taking it. Just a minute and a half of play remaining. Manly will be content just to take the tackles, use up the time, and probably on the 5th tackle just roof it right down Parramatta's half. Here's Cleal. No doubt he's had his best game of the year. Blake. There's the kick. Over Lydiard's head and not favoured by the bounce at all, although it'd probably be too big over the dead ball line. So Parramatta will retain possession with a 22-metre place kick. The 2 replacements that were on the sideline for Manly, it looks as if they're not going to be used. They've now come back to the bench. Less than 60 seconds of the game remaining. Here's Jerd, back to Sterling. That's typical of Parramatta's play today. Here's Cleal. Here's Cleal. Is he going to get another one? He's missed it. Well, Noel Cleal looking for another try. Very nearly would have had one too, but the foot failed to connect with the football. Ray Brown. Jeff Gerard. 12 metres out. Sigsworth. Lydiard now has it. Just short of the 10-metre mark was the full-time siren sounds. So Manly advanced to the grand final, defeating Parramatta today by 19 points to 10. Parramatta were favoured in the penalties and just shaded Manly in the scrums.